Good evening. I have my commissar hat on. Hello. More Warhammer lore, which I'm excited to get into. I do have some videos from Arch tonight, by the way, that I picked straight out of stream suggestions that you guys had sent me. So, no crack duck, no meme lore. It's going to be like real deep dive shit, okay? And I picked Sisters of Battle because you guys sent me so many of those. And then I might do the warp next week. Hi! Oh my god, guys. Right before I went live, I saw this like VTuber who's like talking shit about like the Christian VTubers. I'm not gonna name any names. I'm pretty sure that guy is just kind of like engagement farming, trying to rage bait, because he builds a lot of straw men in his whatever the fuck he did. Like, he's clearly a young guy. I don't want to name names, but holy shit. He's a doofus is what he is. And I'm not just like attacking him because oh my god, you're attacking Christian VTubers. I am going to very so self-righteously defend them. No, it's more like you can tell that it's like more performative stuff that he's doing. Again, I don't want to name names. It's not a tranny. He's a guy that he kind of fakes his voice, in my opinion, as an audiophile. He has a way deeper voice than he probably naturally has. I don't know, he's got 100k followers on Twitter. But he just like makes this thing talking about how, or this video for Twitter to how much he hates Christian VTubers. I'm not a Christian VTuber, by the way. I don't know if you could tell that. And the video is like, I don't know, I think he's trying to get they them pussy points, honestly. If it's not like just clout chasing and engagement farming. I mean, it is very rage baity, because like when people like are going after him in the replies, he's saying shit like, you literally have "We Are Charlie Kirk" in your bio. That's cringe. Like, brother, you're one to talk. Like, ew. And I have chamomile tea that I'm drinking with a spoon because I don't know, weird. But no, this is not a tranny. Has to take deep breaths in between sentences to fake that deep voice. Yeah, and he's got like a fake like gravel to it. I think he's trying to be similar to Corpse Husband, or he has some influence. I know, like, poor Corpse Husband got face doxed, and then I don't actually know what happened to him after that. Which, you know, in all seriousness, I thought, even if that's like a real face dox of Corpse Husband, I thought he was a real cutie. I feel bad that there were so many vapid whores that made him feel fucking awful about himself, if that was the case. At this point, anything these people are doing is just for goodie points with the weirdos. Yeah, I mean, in this in particular, I'm pretty sure it's for pussy points. Like, he's just trying to look like, he's just like, hey, look at me. Hey, cute ladies. Hey, cute they-thems. Theydies. Look at me fight all these MAGA types who are like Christian and like whatever else it is that you don't like. Fuck them. I'll do anything for you, babe. Just let me like fucking drown in your pussy and smother in your tits, please. Like, that's what he comes across as me. I don't know. I get like he's got 100k and he probably thinks that someone like me, like, he's a better person than I am or whatever, but like, I'm kind of contemplating if I want to quote tweet him or not. I'm gonna be real with you guys, because there is like an element to it, where he's just looking for attention, and he has so much like there's an air to him. I almost want to say who it is. I mean, I know we're supposed to be talking about Warhammer, which we will be in like a few minutes. because I have an Arch vid that I want to watch, but he's just like, woo. I don't even barely want to give him the time of day, guys. If you want to see who he is, just go into Twitter search and search I hate religious VTubers, and you're gonna see some like half furry dude with dog ears, and that's gonna be the one. Can't miss him. I hate religious VTubers, and he has a video where he's basically kind of like squalling like a child about it. And it's like, brother, I don't think any of these like Christian VTubers were like proselytizing or trying to convert you or anything. So I mean, that's observation number one that makes it clear as day that he's just trying to get they them pussy points and just get an engagement farm. Because he's the same one that came out and started like shitting on men recently. He's the same one that started like shitting on men. And it's like, this guy is like desperate for poontang, brothers. A turbo autistic? Maybe he definitely tries to give off the bad guy vibes. Yeah, even the Muslims and the Jews. No, he won't talk about them because in his anecdotal reasoning is because he doesn't see those in the VTubing community. It's always been the Christian ones. It's like, so you hate Christians for just existing? Like, brother. You know what? By your own logic, I hate you for existing. Oh, I don't care, Jay. And his like deep, gravelly voice is like clearly like kind of tuned to sound away. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me. Fuck you. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Oh, him. I mocked him earlier this week. Yeah, he's an idiot, self-hating man. Yeah, you know, and the thing is that like if he is like doing what I think he's doing, which is trying to get like the they them, the daddy issue girl pussy points, just trying to come across as surface level manly while also like shitting on men, like he's like, I don't know. I also venture to believe he's under 25, so he's not like a fully developed person. So he's not I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too far into it. You know, you can customize the hat. Yeah, but like that takes me making toggles and stuff, and I have fucked up VTube Studio so many times that like I'm kind of scared to do that now. He sounds like a beta male feminist. Yeah. He definitely sounds like somebody who's overcompensating. I know this is just engagement farming, but I'm definitely looking at the personality of the person who's doing it and judging him by his character. And he's like compensating for something. Like, Jesus Christ. Pick me guy, male pick me. That is weirdly what it feels like he's doing. You know, I never thought like pick me's were very real, mostly because like I would always be called a pick me, and it's like, no, I genuinely do not like the mass female populace. I think the last time the female populace was actually decent was probably 130 years ago, and then since then they no longer like have hobbies or anything. Like they don't try to be like super good at math or like reading or anything. Like there's like no skill to them. There's nothing that refines them as a being that they're giving back to society, other than like this like I am the table high maintenance bullshit that they do. So I mean, I guess you can call me a pick me all you want, but by that logic, that dude is definitely a male pick me, and he is hangry for some pussy, guys. Pre-suffrage? Yeah, pre-suffrage. Yeah, you're right. Mars is right. Pre-suffrage. Yeah, that was. I think that's some of the most beautiful times for women. I mean, the Romance era as well. I look to I like to look back at that era as stuff to like really influence me as well. It's why like I enjoy crocheting and knitting, even though like I'm not like that good at knitting. I'm still learning. You know. Women who are called pick me by other women are usually considered green flags for guys. You know, that is actually something that I have found to be true because, like, you know, like they'll say like Kirsha is a pick me. You guys remember that? Like they'd scream that all the time. Kirsha being a pick me, or anybody else. All right, we're gonna chat for like a few more minutes, and then I promise we're gonna watch this hour-long Archcast video. I think it's Archcast. It's Arch. I think it's one of the videos that Rooster posted. But which shout out to Rooster. To be fair, it's okay for men to hanker for that. I mean, yeah, it's fine, but he's peacocking in like a really retarded way. I mean, I've tried to come to understand peacocking in men. I don't know when they're actually peacocking, but I do know it's whenever they're like picking. It is sometimes when they are picking a fight with other people. But I mean, at the same time, this dude's just engagement farming. I mean, he started this shit when I think he used to be in Niji Sanji. Really? Wow, this guy. I'll spell his name for you guys. It's Kaiyo. I mean, I guess there's no sense in like. I just didn't really want to give him attention, but I'm beating around the bush. I might as well be straightforward. His name is like Ko. I think he's like a dog furry. He's something. He is something. Yeah. I knew it. He is retarded. Yeah, Kaio? Bago? Beta peacocking is usually pretty cringe. One thing that I've come to understand is that they're the ones that will just, like, be retarded towards other men. And that gets, like, really stressful. As a female, I don't see what's sexy about it. I guess like some other bitch that's equally as toxic would be like, oh fuck, I love the way that you argue with people. I can't wait till you argue with me and then you're slamming my head against the wall at 3 a.m. Is that it? I'm a social retard. Let's not forget, so I don't know. Oh, he's a dog? Explains all the woman followers. Yeah, he might be onto something there. If he's like doing like the kind of like half fake voice, attacking Christians and doing the whole shebang, maybe he's onto something. Because you guys know this song. All right, white girls fuck dogs. Do we know this song? That does not apply to me. Okay. I just want to make that fucking clear. But maybe he's on to something. Maybe he wants like the most egregious of gooner fucked up women, you guys. Holy shit, my chamomile is good. Can you believe there's people in this world that don't like chamomile? What the fuck's wrong with them? Talking about aeonics. Why does he sound like a Reddit mod? That's where he was groomed at, probably. What is WGFD, J-Wolf? Alright, we do gotta get started. I do have an hour-long video that's about, the age of hold on. Well, you know what? Why don't we just go over there? Ba-ba-ba-boom! And then let me get a little situated here. Hi. That looks pretty good, right? You guys... I'm sorry I don't customize my hat. I know it would look better if I did. But I have fucked up VTube Studio so many times working with, like, the toggles that I'm scared, okay? I'm scared. Niji men cater hard to Fujo girls. So he's probably trying to keep a similar audience with his man-hating. What's Fujo girls? You're gonna have to educate me. Like, I know about Niji Sanji. I know that they're, like, fucked up in a lot of ways. Oh, Jake Monroe? I have some opinions about Jake Monroe, honestly. I have known who Jake Monroe is way before you guys ever found him through the um political train that he's riding right now. Now, I don't know, maybe I should keep those opinions to myself. They don't have anything to do with his political stances. I just knew who he was for several years before you guys found him. Um cuz he is part of the goth community and well, the YouTube goth community. At least you're trying. Fujo ship yaoi in anime. Oh, so they want him to be gay? I guess he would be like a bear in training, wouldn't he? I don't know. I don't get into yaoi. I'm not the type. Fujoshi, Rotten Girl, aka yaoi, and Boy Love fans. Oh my god. I'm sorry, like, I spent like our first 15 minutes just talking about that guy, but like, I literally, as I was waiting to go live, I just come across this video and I'm like, huh? What's this dude's fucking problem? I'm gonna do him like I do most females, even though he's a guy, and just ignore him. Like, I could care less about his opinion. He can't even understand what a straw man is. He can't even understand. I saw some of his replies. The people. I would be embarrassed as fuck posting things like that. I am not joking with you guys. I mean, there's some stuff I'll post on YouTube that or on Twitter that I'll be wrong about, and that's okay because I don't mind owning up to it. But like this fucking guy, Jesus, you enjoy the yapping? I mean, again, this is an hour long, and it's by Art, and I've been kind of iffy about some of these Warhammer videos because of how long they are and how much of a slog fest that might be for people who are here for me but not necessarily so much Warhammer. So oh, white girls fuck dogs. Oh my god. Duh, the abbreviation. Sorry, J-Wolf. I don't know if my explanation is showing up on top chat. I see you on live chat. I have it on top. Make sure. Yeah, I have it on live chat. I always try to remember that. Guys can't be goth, only gay if can goth. So I'll tell you a little bit about what I know about Jake Monroe real fast. He was in a relationship, and I mean, if Jake Monroe ever sees this, I want him to know I think he's a cool fucking guy. I just never really looked into his content before. Because as far as I could tell for a few years, it was just React content. But I was around when he was in a relationship with another goth YouTuber called Toxic Tears. And then they had a very ugly breakup. And Jake would really criticize a lot of other people in the goth community. And he got like a bad reputation for that. Because he, in my opinion, he was just a shit talker. And then, after Sam Hyde made one of his first, one of those first widescreen videos, Jake Monroe copied that that same exact format and started making these political videos. I'm not saying he's a grifter. I'm not saying that he copied Sam Hyde's style. I can see that he was inspired. I see that he's trying to reinvent his content. But for the stuff that I knew about Jake Monroe previously, I recently followed him on Twitter. I'm trying to like get cool with him, see what he's really all about, since it's been about 6-7 years now. But I'm very leery of him, even though I think he's cool. Don't get me wrong, I respect him. But I'm leery of Jake Monroe. Okay? It's weird that he's suddenly like in my side of Twitter. But there's like some stuff that is needed to be said that he says. There is some needful things that he says. Like there's some videos that he has where he's addressing a lot of the bullshit that's in the goth community, because there are a lot of goths that gatekeep the shit out of the I don't know if you call it a fandom, an aesthetic, the lifestyle, right? And like to a lot of goths on YouTube, me voting for Trump makes me a conservative, makes me like an uber Christian conservative, and I have no right being a goth. Like they want to dictate the rules of it, when there used to be, and there should always have been, this like free will, educate yourself part of it. But just like when punk fell to ruin, it pulled goth down with it, because goth is part of punk. And so again, like Jake Monroe says some things that is agreeable, but I don't know, I'm trying to come around to him, okay? Zay, do you like female or male vocals better? I do prefer male, but I also really like female. I wish that YouTube did not do the top chat thing either. I don't get it. It's okay. Oh, I read that. I read that. The video he posted this morning is pretty damn good, actually. So, I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know. I want to like Jake Monroe. Like, him and Toxic Tears breaking up, like, that was their business. And it unfortunately was aired quite ugly. But that was their business. It was the way he was after that. I was like, dude, I can't stand this guy, because all he does is just attack people. I don't know. I want to like him. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys probably weren't expecting me to have such a personal opinion about the guy. But I really love the goth community on YouTube, or I did. I can't have stand it anymore, because they're like ultra liberal for the sake of being so. Well, Rage Against the Machine, I when I was real young, I listened to them, and I had no idea that they were commies. I don't even think I fully understood what a commie was. Ugh. But you know what? I'm gonna keep giving Jake Monroe a chance. I haven't seen this video that you guys are talking about, but I don't know if he was bitter and angry over it. So if you go look back at his content before he started actually posting this like MAGA goth stuff, I will be honest with you. There is a part of me that thinks that he's just doing it because he sees this like power vacuum where he has this chance to be that guy in the goth community, like that guy, like the make goth great again guy. So I have a hard time like understanding his character. Again, I don't want to call him a grifter. I'm still trying to figure him out. So, but his response is quite needful, because there's so many baby bat goths that will just conflate everything and then just attack people, and it's like, sweet child, you have an opinion about things that you don't even understand. And there's also this magical, powerful word called nuance. You should try learning it. So, I mean, there's stuff that he's doing that is good. I don't know. But I tell you what, when him and Toxic Tears broke up, like, that was a big deal, guys. Oh, but his content before he started making political videos was just like react And it's like, for me personally, that's like really boring. And a lot of times, like, it felt like his heart really wasn't in it either. Okay. In the goth community, like, I'm very into the goth community, you guys, and you'll notice that not a lot of people have ever collabed with Jake Monroe at that. Okay. He had a reputation, and I don't know. I need to start this. I keep droning on about the same opinion, but you know. Mark is an oddball. I almost think you should do a couple of streams on the goth movement and culture if you haven't already. I mean, that's an idea. That's an idea. If you guys did not know this, I have been goth for 20 years, okay? Since I was a preteen, okay? And I never wore the white stargazer face paint or face powder or anything. Like, I never tried to look like a corpse. I was always kind of like a more sleek, demure looking goth. Very subtle, very simple. Lots of shit that I made by myself or like by hand or like I thrifted. And there's a lot of goths that would be like, oh, you're not a real goth. You're like some cheap mall goth or something, which I think mall goth is just as valid as anything. I mean, like, it's okay that like Hot Topic and Spencer's in the mid 2000s was like selling shit, right? Like, it's okay. Even though like it's more cool when you look handmade, I personally think. Even though I like Killstar. Killstar is like a big top brand for goth stuff, but a big goth breakdown would be amazing. Yeah, especially the finer points of goth versus scene girl. I have a soft spot for scene girls, even though like when scene girls were a thing, I was a cyber goth, and I mean, that would be funny, but I'm not gonna be like the one that's gonna be like, these are posers. I'm not gonna be the one to do that. So mall goth is a dead genre. Mall goth was cute. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was cute. So I'm still trying to figure out which of the slew of new base VTubers are genuine and which ones are the next Elfin psyop, so I can see the hesitation. Rise and fall of Hot Topic. Yeah, so real fast, let's talk about that. I'll write it down though. I can try to do some like goth stuff. I gotta get my trusty my handy dandy Hello Kitty thingy. Let's see, goth culture. There's like even some videos I could react to, that I know of right off the top of my head that I could react to really like share with you guys what I know. So I also want to talk about that. Holy shit, guys! This might be the only video we can watch tonight because I did have like other ones, but that's okay. We got next week. I'm gonna do Warhammer Wednesday for like weeks, okay? But real fast, like the rise of based VTubers. So I don't think that's a bad thing, but I would like to share with you what I think, okay? Now, we do have the performative ones that are like, fuck ice, right? Like, that might be how they actually feel, but they're definitely doing it for engagement and to whistle blow, or not whistle blow, but dog whistle, because their views are down and they're trying to signal to other, like, fucking freaks that, you know, they're one of them. To each their own, okay? High school never ended, unfortunately. People are gonna be in their cliques. I hate that it's political related, though. Anyway. So you have that, and then you have the ones that are like, I don't want to call them faux-based. What I think is actually happening is because the tides are changing, the left no longer has a stranglehold on social media. Well, they do in some spots, but not where it used to matter. So I think they're like dipping their toes. Like, some of these quote-unquote base VTubers are just dipping their toes in the water to see how far they can go. I admittedly have to do that myself. Okay, and now I let retard just, I let that just fly, you know. But if this was pre 2016, I'd be dropping different slurs, my brothers. I really would be. I'd say FAG a lot. I'd say that a lot. There's like a lot. I'd say N words. So when it comes to the genuine nature of it, one thing that I would look at that is, or what I would be gauging about their character is like how much like fan service do they give. If they're like borderline OF, or they have an OF and they're talking about men's mental health, or they're trying to be based, now there might be a part of that where they're just trying to dragnet more men. But if they're just trying to make videos, make clips and stuff that it's like, oh, this is what the primary male audience wants to see, that might be them dipping a toe in the water, okay? So I would say give it a little bit more time and see where that goes. Fuck ice, ooh. Rooster, why do you blame yourself? Oh, for these long videos, it is your fault, but that's okay. But yeah, you guys want a goth breakdown? I will see about that. I will see about that. I do know some like videos I can react to. But I'm not one to gatekeep. I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, emos and scene kids, they're not goth. That we had to share an aesthetic, okay? It was still like alternative music. So Fagaloons? Razorfist? He calls them Fagaloons? Wait. I watch Razor all the time. How have I not caught that? Maybe I just didn't think about it. Has been in the game for a very long time. Yeah, didn't he? I think he used to do radio before he became what he is now on YouTube. POS keeps me anchored as well. Brother. It sucks. Hot Topic girls. Oh my god, I could. I used to think the ones that were like way older than me in like 2007 that could like work in the shop because I wasn't old enough to have a job. I used to think they were so fucking pretty, and they were like cyber goth looking. Alright, you guys. We need to get started because this is an hour-long video, okay? Let's get started on it. Let me like make sure you can hear it. It was good chatting about that though. I could just talk to you guys all day about that.
Greetings and salutations,
so
and
more reason to make a video on it.
40k lore. Today we're going to be looking
My team
at
is very
the
good.
Sobs, the Sisters of Battle, the Adepta Sororitas, the all-female military arm of the Ecclesiarchy. But before we get into the sisters themselves, let's talk a little bit about
At least they didn't make
how
them ugly, like when they made female custodies and they just look like
their origins as the brides
female
of the
men.
Emperor would come to create
at least
Sisters
like
of Battle as we know today.
These ladies have remained untouched.
It's a pretty interesting story because normally an organization that did what they did would have been wiped out to the last man, or, well, in this case, woman. So, let us start, shall we, with the Age of Apostasy.
Have a good night, J-Wolf.
And as the name suggests, it obviously involves the Ecclesiarchy. As many of you already know, the Ecclesiarchy is the Imperium's primary religious organization. And it also happens to be the
Can you guys hear this okay?
legal religious organization, it being originally based on the imperial cult, although it has deviated from its roots rather considerably, and it has not been known as the imperial cult for many thousands of years. After the event of the Horus Heresy, the Ecclesiarchy began to slowly but surely gain in power. To begin with, the imperial cult was legalized, having originally been banned during the era of the Great Crusade, and it had gotten a lot of followers from all walks of society, even amongst the Adeptus Astartes. To begin with, however, it was seen as, just a religion. Something for the masses to put their faith and their hope in. Nothing particularly
They're
harmful,
so cool,
but also nothing
man.
overly offensive. Eventually, the ecclesiarchy would come to get a representatives on the High Lords of Terra, which marked the moment when the Greater Imperium, the administration and government body of the Imperium that is, recognized the ecclesiarchy as a full and proper imperial organization, and therefore granted it the representation that such an organization needed. At this relative early point in imperial history, however, they were still but a religion.
You'll have to forgive me.
They would...
You'll have to forgive me if I don't talk a lot. Like, it's a lot to take in, and I tried to pick something that would make all the Warhammer nerds happy. I mean that endearingly, by the way.
Not claiming to be speaking on behalf of the Emperor. In fact,
So-
at this point, they...
So, Darktide, I don't think that they're ever going to put a Sisters... I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think they'll ever put Sisters of Battle in the game because you can apparently just, like, mess with a fanatic and they're technically a Sister of Battle or something like that.
didn't really even claim to be interpreting the Emperor. They simply represented the imperial cult. This, however, would slowly but surely and, dare I say, inevitably change. As any organization grows bigger, wealthier, and more powerful, it is virtually inevitable that the more, selfish elements of humanity will strive to get to the top of said organization.
I'm sorry, I'm, like,
And the
downing my
ecclesiarchy
tea.
was getting very wealthy and
What,
very
you're gonna watch this
powerful
multiple times?
Indeed.
This Arch video?
Surprise that you eventually ended up with individuals
Hey,
that
physics.
was less interested in spreading the Emperor's word and more interested in getting themselves many, many fluffy cushions and shiny golden coins to play with. And how, you may ask, would a religious institution get more power? Well, by creating more followers, obviously. And how do you get more
Even
followers?
has the Eviscerator?
Well, again, quite obviously, you want to take the religion from the state of being a simple
need to level a
religion
zealot.
to
I-
being good
I had one, but
old-fashioned
I didn't really
gospel,
play
so
her
to
much.
say. The Lectio Divinitas, 40k's version of the Bible, stopped being a book written by simple humans and became the word of the Emperor himself. It was all, to put it bluntly, literally
Very new to Warhammer.
the
I am
truth.
new too.
And now that the Emperor's divinity, and therefore absolute authority, was assured and recorded, the next step was obviously to claim that you, and only you, or, well, you and your closest ecclesiarchy
Rooster.
friends, of course,
Yeah, we're gonna do
could
more
speak
Warhammer next week.
directly
Next week
to
I
the
wanna
divine and get
listen
his
to or learn the
guidance
warp.
and, perhaps more importantly, his instructions on certain matters. The fact that the Emperor's instructions pretty much always benefited the ecclesiarchy was just a happy coincidence. And with the basis of human nature more often than not being good old-fashioned greed, the ecclesiarchy soon expanded their power base in all manners of directions. In fact, they started taking over many of the responsibilities of other already established imperial organizations. They began organizing their own de facto administratum to supply
sounds
themselves
very
to
womanly of
levy
them.
taxes from the worlds that they had claimed in the name of the Emperor, of course, not their own bank accounts, that is important to remember. And they also began organizing frater militaris, so-called crusaders, brothers in arm, faithful warriors of the church. Because naturally, if you're going to be asking people to pay taxes, you're going to need an incentive, and having the frater militaris not come
Why
around...
is it they're allowed to be women, though? Did I miss that point? Like, why is it they're allowed to be women? Physics, is very good to see you. Physics recommended me? Aw, Physics. That's awesome. Oh, welcome on in. I'm glad to have you here. It's a very cozy night and we're just chilling, watching some deep lore about the Sisters of Battle. Which I'm new to Warhammer. Nuns with guns. He will get to that. Oh, he will get to why they're females? Alright,
to your house
I'm
and
shutting up. I'm
burn
letting it
down
play.
was considered an excellent incentive. Because remember, the Emperor protects, but only if you paid your insurance money. But of course, with ever-increasing influence and ever-increasing reach comes ever-increasing numbers of enemies.
She's quite
Now that
pretty.
the
I like
ecclesiarchy was
looking at her.
officially butting in on the turf of the Adeptus Ministorum and also the Asta Militarum to a certain degree, these organizations couldn't simply stand by and watch the ecclesiarchy
Shrimpy.
take over everything. It is also important to remember
Oh,
that at
thank
this
you.
point in time,
My
in the
hat-
relatively early ages
My hat
of
was
the
recommended
Imperium,
by Balls.
many of the higher governing bodies of the
Balls are
Imperium
hairy.
still considered the Emperor to be but a man. This was, however,
Aw,
by no stretch of the
Shrimpy.
imagination, general knowledge. After only a couple
I'm
thousand years
watching.
after the Emperor's ascension, any and all
Or
the
listening.
documentation that related to the Emperor before he became the God Emperor was virtually impossible to get a hold of. In fact, almost all of it was heavily classified and only available to high administratum personnel, high lords of terror, commanders of the Imperial Guard, or inquisitors, and many of those groups would
Yeah, I'm
lose
happy about the
access to
boob
many of these
armor.
archives as the power of the ecclesiarchy and the Inquisition grew. This obviously had a lot to do with the Horus Heresy, as eventually the events of the heresy became
Ooh.
less of an
I've been
actual
passing these
historical
oohs out
event
for free, guys.
and
I
more
need
of
to shut
an
up.
age-old myth.
Ooh.
But at this relatively early point in the Imperium's history, 2,000 to 3,000
I'm
years
sorry
after
for
Emperor's
the
ascension,
new people if you think
the
I'm
High Lords of Terror were
special
under
and
absolutely
retarded
no
for that.
illusions whatsoever that the ecclesiarchy could talk to the God Emperor, and that is because they could also
Hugo
talk
Boss.
to the God
Hugo
Emperor.
Boss does look good.
At this point in history, the High Lords were still allowed to seek special audiences with the Emperor. Now, do bear in mind, they could not communicate in any way with the Emperor, but they were allowed to gaze upon his holy visage at the Golden Throne, at a
Wow.
respectful distance, of course, and kept at bay by about half a dozen custodies, just in fucking case. But nevertheless, the fact remains that the High Lords knew that the Emperor was real. They knew he was not some divine, godly being. And therefore, having a faction trying so obviously to increase their own political, financial, and, disturbingly enough, military power, and all the while claiming that they're
Retarded
only
goth
doing
girls for
this
the
because
win.
the Emperor told them to do it, well, let's just
So
say that the
they were close
Administratum
to the
was
Emperor,
not
like,
about to
they
give
got
them
to,
special
like,
privileges because of
Be
their sky
near
daddy.
him. This really special.
And so began
Very
a
womanly.
long and occasionally bloody feud between the Administratum and the Ecclesiarchy, both trying to limit the other's political power while naturally trying to grow their own. After considerable early successes, the advancements of the Ecclesiarchy was more or less halted and eventually fully reversed in the millennias 34 and 35. A series of weak high ecclesiarchs, the Warhammer 40k equivalent of a pope except 1,000 times more powerful, allowed the Administratum to grow their own power base at the expense of the Ecclesiarchy. After quite literally something along the lines of 1,000 years of this, the Ecclesiarchy was reduced to little more than a front. They were allowed to keep their public persona as the Emperor's spokespeople, his chosen, if you will, but in reality they had virtually no power, neither politically, financially, or militarily, when compared to the Administratum. The Ecclesiarchy had simply made a little bit too many enemies. You could perhaps say that they had drunk their own Kool-Aid at some point. They figured that they were really speaking for the Emperor, and therefore they were in the right to grab this power. Or no, you know what? They were not simply just
So
correct.
the
They were not
Sororitas
simply
thought that they
morally
spoke for the
obliged to
Emperor?
gain
Is that
this
what I'm
power.
understanding?
It was their duty to gain this power, to safeguard it from the less pious elements of the Imperium.
Oh.
And here's the real kicker. The Ecclesiarchy pretty much considered these less pious elements to be pretty much everyone, which made it pretty damn hard to get any alliances going. They couldn't really work with the Mechanicus because, of course, they worshipped the Omnissiah, which they keep claiming is a different version of the Emperor. It is simply the Emperor, one of his many guises, they keep saying, while in reality worshipping a goddamn Necron Overlord. But hey, details. And obviously there was no alliances to be made with the Adeptus Administratum because, well, they were pretty much actively competing against each other. And as for the Astra Militarum, well, they might have been able to get some sway over them, but with their
Sororitas are
annoying
the
habits of
military
creating
of the
their own
church,
little private
aka
armies,
the
Imperial Guard was not
Ecclesiarchy.
particularly
right,
fond of them
Ecclesiarchy.
either. And as a final nail in the coffin, they were also not at all on friendly terms with the Adeptus Astartes. At this point in Imperial history, the Adeptus Astartes still considered the Emperor to be but a man, the greatest of all men, true, but still only a man. In modern 40k, this has changed quite drastically to the point where many chapters, even a few of the founding chapters, do consider the Emperor to be a divine being.
Did it change,
then,
like, retcons?
The Ecclesiarchy was directly opposed to the vast majority of Adeptus Astartes chapters, and that's a problem. The primary problem, of course, being the fact that the Adeptus Astartes are pretty good at fighting, so messing with them directly was pretty much out of the picture. Additionally, they were the Emperor's angels.
I remember on YouTube also Rumbles
be attacking the Adeptus Astartes for pretty
issues.
much any reason. Not that they would want to anyway, because, well, Adeptus Astartes. They're pretty damn good at the whole murdering thing. And secondly, the Adeptus Astartes were entirely outside of the Imperial command structure, which meant that no matter how much political clout the Ecclesiarchy actually managed to gain, they could never actually force the cooperation of the Astartes. Which quite obviously meant that, while the Ecclesiarchy had a string of very, very fortunate incidences where the Emperor kept decreeing things that were to their benefits, the Astartes had a similar streak of unfortunate incidents that tragically prevented them from aiding the Ecclesiarchy whenever one of their worlds were getting invaded by greenskins.
So I need to learn who the Astartes
well, let's just
are.
say that the Ecclesiarchy was not exactly in the Astra Militarum's good book either, or the Administratum for that matter, so any reinforcements that would eventually be sent to the aid of this religious world would, in all due probability, be unfortunately, although unavoidably, detained. It eventually got so bad that the Ecclesiarchy decided to flee Terra. Not militarily speaking, they weren't chased off the planet or anything, but it was becoming increasingly obvious that they simply would not be able to get anything done as long as the Administratum was hanging over their shoulders.
Oh, the Astartes are the Space Marines.
Pretty much complete control over Terra.
Okay.
As such, the Ecclesiarchy
I don't know
moved
how I
pretty much
missed
its
that.
entire
That's like a
command and
glaring
control
big
structure
detail.
to Ophelia 7 in the Segmentum Tempestus. And when I say they moved all of their command and control structure, I literally do mean they moved the entirety of the Adeptus Ministorum to the planet. Scribes, buildings, resources, and everything. Every last single tiny little bit was relocated. It was expensive, to put it fucking mildly, but the benefits were obvious. First and foremost, it would get the Ecclesiarchy and the Adeptus Ministorum away from the Administratum, and secondly, Ophelia was a ludicrously
infighting and Warhammer
planet.
drama. It's
it controlled
fucking
virtually
cool.
all
Like,
trade in the
mega
Segmentum,
cool.
and this massive amount of wealth led it to be a planet that could rival Terra and Mars in political, financial, and
physics. I appreciate that you so kindly invite me pretty much like every time you're doing that. The thing is that I only have like specific days where I'm free, and that's usually past 8 p.m. Eastern. This why like I haven't been able to join. I'd love to. I have a ton of friends who won't want to join too, because SCP Secret Lab is like you can have like 40 plus people, right? 40 people play it. It is a lot to take in. Just holler with your questions. Okay. I mean, I'm not being too boring because I'm just kind of sitting here reacting, right? I don't know. I'm still new to this reacting thing, guys. I don't know. I don't even watch people who react to anything. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'll just watch that when I feel like it. You know, I could speed them up. Hang on. You guys, I'm gonna actually speed them up a little bit. You good with that? Are we good if I speed them up a little bit? We could do 125.
And, eventually, military power. Exactly what the Ecclesiarchy
that's pretty
wanted.
smooth right there.
And that is exactly what they started building. First and foremost, they needed a symbol, something to tell both the Administratum and, of course, the people of Ophelia that they were in charge. They chose to do this in the most obvious and grandiose way possible. In the same way that a man with a small penis buys a very large car, the Adeptus Ministorum built a cathedral that covered 90,000 square miles of land and towered 4 kilometers into the sky.
But there's like some things he'll say, and I'm just like, okay, what's Astartes? Well, that's the Space Marines, and I love the Space Marines. And now I know that they are the Astartes. So who are the custodes? what is the main difference between the Astartes and the Custodes? Other than the fact that Custodes now have women. That makes Ark's voice more tolerable. Yeah! Hako, hey, welcome in, Hako Mike. Yeah, I didn't even think about it, you guys, that I could have sped this up. I'm like, we're gonna sit here an hour, and you guys are gonna all sit right here in my lap and be good. Alright? Because mommy is learning. Ah! But no, I can speed this up. Really compensate for, like, I talked to you guys about just bullshit for, like, 30 minutes. Damn, narrator just took his in.
And this
brother.
rather gargantuan piece of compensating
We can go faster, honestly.
was not the only
Let's see what 1.5
instituted by
is.
the Adeptus Ministorum. They began demanding ever heavier taxes and tithes upon the various imperial walls.
I like that. Guys, I'm gonna keep it at 1.5. If anybody doesn't like it, I will like turn it down a little bit. You tell me.
This money was dumped straight back into the system to
I want to make sure everybody's having a good time.
Houses of worship all across the Imperium. This grew their influence considerably amongst the common folk.
It's fun to watch me learn.
Consequently, it also slowly but surely grew their political influence.
Hang on. He's talking about shit I really actually want to hear about, the political thing. I want to tell you guys that since last week, and well, since we did Warhammer last week, that it is so heartwarming how wholesome you guys are about Warhammer, and it's something that I really look forward to as we do Warhammer Wednesday for a while. So like you guys are all mega adorable about it. Okay, you guys are mega adorable about it. The ones of those of you who know all about Warhammer lore, those of you who are learning it with me, you guys are like actually so wholesome about it. And thank you for being here with me and giving me something that's just so like it fills my heart with joy to do this with you guys. It's got me thinking like what other Warhammer stuff I can do in the future more than just reacting to stuff, you know. So I wanted to say that to you guys. I wanted to say that to you. And Balls is saying the Custodes are the sons of the Lords of Terra, who are the Emperor's bodyguards. And there are only 1,000 of them. Okay. What would be a good day for you to do SCP? Listen, I could do like Sunday night. Really, any night, as long as it's past 8 p.m. Eastern. And also physics, could I bring friends? Because I got like a bunch of viewers, and I got like some like inner circle friends that would just love to play SCP with everybody. And physics, you let me know if that's alright. I mean, one thing about inviting me to do stuff is that like I tend to have like a whole fucking party that can come with me. And I feel good to say that, to be honest with you. I love you guys. It feels good to have friends. We love nerding out with you and sharing our knowledge as well. So, you guys, I got other ideas outside of Warhammer, because like I've been wanting to find things that like boys like that I can like learn about. And about, I got some ideas for the future. All right, I got ideas for the future. I'm not gonna spoil it on you right now. Now he's just British Shapiro.
Influence across the Imperium. Now that they were no longer a tight leash held by the Administratum, the priestly class spent astronomic sums on building ever larger cathedrals with ever more embellishment, to the point where they even began to compete against each other to build the biggest and the most
I want to
grandiose
see some
temples
Warhammer
to honor
cathedrals.
the Emperor.
I bet they're beautiful.
There might be another reason, but we'll go with that one for the time being. And more importantly, and far, far more worrying, because, priests will always...
Yes, of course, you can bring friends. Yeah, I know about like 10 people right off the top of my head that could go. And then like I could also like throw an invite out to all of my viewers. Which, by the way, everyone, physics is talking about SCP Secret Laboratory. It is a free game on Steam, and it's actually really, really fun and chaotic when you have a shitload of people playing it. I don't half understand how the game works, but I've played it before and it was really fun. So physics is definitely an idea. Physics is all the time very kindly inviting me too. And It's just it's always been like a time that I couldn't really join, but physics will make something work sometime. The Norwegian would be mad about that comparison. What comparison?
Build the temples. The fact that these particular priests were being extremely industrious in their building wasn't that much of a problem. Granted, the continued...
Yeah, it's free and it's on Steam, okay?
The religious indoctrination of the Imperial's population was a source for discomfort and some worry amongst the High Lords, but, well, they couldn't outright go against the Imperial Creed because, well, that'd be political fucking suicide, but still, that was a bridge to be burned at a later date. What really worried everyone was the drastic expansion of the Fraternities
on Adderall.
You may
very
remember that
happily explaining Warhammer
earlier. The militant were essentially just... what word should we use? Crusaders would be the word used by the Adeptus Ministorum, ragtag ruffians called to battle based on a religious creed and armed primarily with sticks, stones, and occasionally a bolt-action rifle would be the description I'd use, but still, they were not a fighting force. They were usually levied en masse and hurled at the enemy as little more than cannon fodder. Occasionally, if enough of them were levied at the same time and they were organized correctly, they could make significant military progress, but they were never a force that could be used effectively against the...
I also want to say that you guys are... I'm probably going to ask the same questions over and over as we go on with Warhammer Wednesdays, because like I'm a slow learner and I sometimes like I have to learn by patterns. Well, not sometimes, it's just like all the time. And I will ask the same fucking thing in different ways and then be like, "Oh, that's what you mean."
Imperium on a large scale, as most of these people's crusades were targeted against very specific targets. You know, go over there and burn the living fuck out of this world because heresy, etc. It wasn't something that could be shaped into a galaxy-conquering military force. Partially because that simply wasn't how the organization functioned,
love to hear someone
and secondly because
passionate
you'd have a
about
hard time beating the Adeptus Astartes with a bunch of half-naked peasants wielding clubs. The Templars, however, were an entirely different beast. They were trained and professional soldiers equipped with the best that money...
Hang on. So Physics is doing SCP Secret Lab February 14th at 7 p.m. I'm writing that down. Hang on. I could join. I can't make any guarantees though, Physics, because Saturdays and Sundays, like, I'm not usually home. Hang on. But I might be. Alright.
Money could buy, and with the sheer amount of cash the Ecclesiarchy had on hand at this particular point in time, that was some pretty damn serious gear. In fact, most of the Templar regiments that would eventually be levied would be equipped to a standard that would rival, and in some cases even surpass, the Imperial Guard. Originally, the Templars were a de facto private security force of the Adeptus Ministorum. They were assigned to guard cathedrals, places of worship, and the properties of Administorum personnel, e.g. the private property and vineyards, etc. of cardinals. You know, you have to have a side income. The whole holy man of the emperor thing doesn't pay that well by and of itself unless you really get high up the chain of command, but it does come with a wide variety of very lucrative benefits that can be used to produce considerable amounts of currency. And while, as you can probably imagine, the Adeptus Ministorum and its various adepts, priests, and other worthies had a considerable amount of property and quite a few places of worship to guard, this was, on a galactic term, an insignificant force. The Templars were limited primarily to Terra itself and a few selected holy places scattered throughout the Imperium. On a grand scale, they numbered maybe something along the lines of 100,000 men, which again, on a galactic scale, is completely and utterly insignificant. And the Adeptus Ministorum was well aware of this, and so, now that they had gotten out from under the shadow of the Administratum, they quietly began to expand their Templar
Physics, I want to
forces.
definitely try.
Slowly, at first, as to not garner any undue attention. And besides, the increase in the Templar forces were entirely necessary, what with all of the new cathedrals springing up across the Empire, not to mention the behemoth construct that was created in Ophelia. That thing alone would probably require a force of 20 to 30,000 guards to make sure everything's running smoothly. And again, this was more or less completely ignored by the Administratum.
While he's talking, I want to see what one of these Gothic cathedrals
they were still a
look
relatively
like.
Insignificant force, not to mention the simple fact that they did not have any starships. The High Lords of Terra, controlled by the Administratum, still had complete and utter control of the Imperial Navy. As such, the Templar forces could never present a threat to any planet that they were not directly stationed on. And with the relatively few numbers of cathedrals on a single planet, what with most of the money being poured into massive grand edifices rather than hundreds of smaller churches, which again would require a smaller guard force, etc., it was unlikely that any one planet would be severely threatened by Templar forces. And since they had no ships, well, they couldn't bring any additional reinforcements either, and so any planet that could potentially be put under military threat, and do remember, at this point that was still considered to be utterly ludicrous. The Ecclesiarchy was an annoying organization, but there was no way they were going to start, tearing apart the Imperium, obviously. That shit was impossible.
Is there not like a good picture of what they probably
thing, but
could
fuck
look
it.
like?
That was then, and now is now, and it can't possibly happen, so there's that. But Then the Templar
guess
forces
not.
just kind of kept growing, and eventually they started getting their own ships as well.
Aw, shit.
Until when
Hey,
the Administratum finally
Nagataka.
woke up to smell the fuse, so to say, the Adeptus Ministorum
Hey!
had essentially
Yeah, we're
created
just
its own
chilling,
Imperial
watching some
Guard.
Warhammer stuff, and
at this
learning
point, it was
Warhammer
far too late
lore.
to really do anything about it from the Administorum
Welcome
standpoint.
in, you guys.
After all, the only option now was to declare open war on the Ecclesiarchy, which was not an option, as it would, quite literally, tear the Imperium in half. And with no valid hand to play, it essentially developed into something along the lines of an arms race between the Administratum and the Ecclesiarchy, both sides trying to make sure that the other one could never gain the upper hand to the point where they could simply just wipe out the other. This quote-unquote Cold War, however, did
I
not
don't think
last
there were
too long.
Warhammer cathedrals
The
they were
Ecclesiarchy had
showing me.
expanded too fast and too recklessly. The various worlds under their command, from which they drew the astronomical sums of money required to not only establish the Templars as a large-scale military force, but also the continuous demands for yet more and bigger cathedrals all across the Imperium.
They
meant
love
that
their
these worlds
cathedrals.
were
I love
cracking under the sheer
cathedrals
weight of
too.
taxation.
See, I'm already
And as the
a
old
sister
saying
in
goes,
battle,
if you
guys.
tell a man that he has a new master, in this case the Ecclesiarchy, he will simply shrug. But if you tell that man that his new master wants 50% of his income, he'll go and get his pitchfork. And we all know what happens when the lower classes go and find their pointy sticks, don't we? And that is precisely what happened. The various planets within the Ecclesiarchy sphere of influence began getting somewhat sick of paying a lot of money to a bunch of fat priests. And it wasn't just the peasants that were about to start burning images of the High Ecclesiarch in the streets. Even the noble elements of many of these planets began to protest. Many of them had previously been more or less exempt from taxation, expected only to provide minor contributions to the greater good, of course, of the Imperial Church, but these days, even the noble-born of the Imperial worlds had to pay taxes. And we all know how happy nobles are to pay taxes, don't we? It was only a question of time until the growing unrest resulted in full-scale
This is making me want to read the
uprisings in
books.
several worlds.
I'm not
A few
kidding,
worlds
guys.
tried
I
to
don't
secede
even
from
know
the
what
Imperium as a
order
whole,
the
trying
books
to
are
use
in.
the Ecclesiarchy as a de facto excuse to try and get out of everything. However, the vast
It's
majority
making me
of
wanna read
planets
them.
were simply revolting against the heavy taxes laid upon them by their new priestly overlords. Unfortunately for the peasants, however, this revolt that just a couple hundred years earlier would have been almost entirely safe simply because the priests did not have the forces necessary to quell such rebellions, well, the priests now had the forces necessary to quell such rebellions. They had the ships to transport the Templars from world to world, quashing rebellions as they went, and the
Having
local
that many
forces had
people
also grown
physics,
far
that had to
beyond
have been a
their initial
blast.
numbers. The revolt itself was quickly quashed. However, the underlying reasons for the revolt were not addressed, and as such, the brutal oppression of the uprisings only led to further disquiet, and it became apparent that the Ecclesiarchy would start to clean house. Not just simply quashing rebellions in the streets and occasionally organized military rebellions on the larger worlds, they would have to remove the leaders of said rebellions, which meant that the Adeptus Ministorum was now in the business of assassinating local nobles and even Ecclesiarchy personnel. The purges, as such things have a nasty habit of doing, quickly escalated out of control. The top echelons of the Adeptus
Imperial
Ministorum
Knights are the
got more and more
robot guys?
paranoid, and since the
Robot-looking
underlying
ones?
causes for the revolt in the first place were not addressed, and there was really no option to address them,
Wow.
as the tithes would have to keep coming, especially now that the Adeptus Ministorum found itself needed
Yeah,
to
Research, I
maintain
just
a
saw
large
that.
standing army to quell possible
Say
uprisings
Google
created by the very taxes used to pay
40K
for police
Imperial
force in
Knights.
place
They
to
are
crush them.
walking.
It really was the
Hold on. Wait. You guys are saying these cathedrals they're making are beings? That they're beings? 40K Imperial Knights. Wait, it's not like just like a building. They are massive big boys. Wait. Am I understanding this correctly? Like hang on. Let me get a what? Alright, I'm gonna bring this over. It's just something I found on Google. That guy literally is a cathedral. What the fuck? That's amazing! It is a joke that the church walks to you in 40K, but there are cathedrals atop the mecha robots. By the way, when will we have Space King watch night? I don't know a thing about Space King. Hang on, I'll write it down. When little Uber mentioned want something, mommy provide. Sorry. Let's see, Space King? Space King? Space King watch. Alright, I got that written down. So I'm not quite sure, but we got so many Wednesdays to work with. So, eventually. But yeah, so when they're saying building cathedrals, they're talking about these guys. They're talking about Imperial Knights. Holy shit. That made this way more cooler than I thought. this just got like way more fucking cooler than I thought. Alright, let me continue.
Very definition of a vicious cycle. The prosecution of traitors inevitably breed more traitors, be they real or imaginary.
Fortress
For example,
monasteries.
the assassination of one high-ranking
So
imperial
there's
noble
some regular
would cause
ones.
many other high-ranking imperial nobles to start worrying for their own future, and they might start trying to get some form of safety net in place, some form of insurance policy, you could say. And these insurance policies usually involve digging up some form of dirt on the high ecclesiarch, or indeed the ecclesiarchy as a whole, or in some other way make themselves too important to kill. This naturally meant that they would be going up against the Adeptus Ministorum, which
Oh, she just subbed to me on Rumble for a monthly supporter. Thank you. Thank you, Nagataco. Listen, you're my favorite Latina, alright? I don't know if I ever told you that, but I'm telling you right now. Also, Coast is rating me on Rumble. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Coast. Come on in. I see Lake. Hey, Lake! I hope you're doing good. Guys, we're just taking it easy. Watching some Warhammer shit, and I just learned that when they're talking about building cathedrals, they're probably going to be on top of a fucking Imperial Knight, and that's incredibly badass. Alright, I'm like bewildered over that actually. I love Coast. I love Coast too. The cathedrals are just buildings. Look up Imperator Titan to see a walking one. Ooh. Imperator Titan. What were you playing, Ghost? Woo! So that's what that big guy's called. So that guy here. Hang on. Guys, I can't tell if these are AI or not. And if they are, I'm terribly sorry. Wow! I wish I had one. It's all new to me. This stuff is kind of cool. Warhammer is actually really cool. Currently, I'm exploring stuff that's mostly a male interest. To like wrap my woman brain around it, and so far, like, I'm very in love with Warhammer. You know, eventually I might do Magic the Gathering, and I could learn guns. There's so many gun guys that watch me. I love absolutely every one of you. I just want you to know that. I'm trying to get to know you. Okay, I'm trying to get to know your likes, guys. Like, we're starting with Warhammer. What if, like, we delved into guns? Like, I just started watching some Brandon Herrera videos. I know a little bit about guns, but, like, not as much as, like, Aeonics or probably a lot of you. That's 80s 40k art? Oh, okay. That makes sense why it kind of looks like so... like sci-fi looking, yeah. Bork. I agree. I'd go to church too if it was on a giant mecha, for real. How's your deep dive? Dude, it's actually fun. I keep interrupting myself though. I hope that's okay. Like 3D models? Now, one thing I think is like pretty cute is that girls who seem to get into Warhammer, they really like getting into like the artsy side of it where you paint miniatures. And if I had the money, or if I even could afford a 3D printer, I would be all over it, guys. I really would be. I'd sell them to you guys. I'd be like, hey, come check out my Etsy where I have like cute sparkly Space Marines. Like I'd have to make them cute, okay? I'd make like really good ones, and then I'd make the grillified ones. I'm just saying. Guys, I'm gonna keep it playing. I've just been blown away that a cathedral and a big mecha, you know.
Which would then see them as enemies and would have them assassinated. And now that they've killed another 3 Imperial nobles, another 6 Imperial nobles would be looking for their own insurance policies.
I'd worship the Omniscient Descent, brother.
So on.
I would
and of
too.
course, as a natural consequence of this, the Adeptus Ministorum
Emperor
found
of Man.
that they were getting more and more enemies. And since again, addressing the root cause for the creation of these enemies was simply impossible, they simply had to find new and creative ways of
I
suppressing
don't
them.
know.
The days of secret assassinations were over. The Officio
Hey,
Assassinorum,
Elemental.
forced to act on behalf of the Adeptus Ministorum, had not, in their eyes, succeeded in their task. And as such, it was up to the valiant servants of the Emperor to protect themselves with whatever means they had at their disposal. The Imperial Church began to excommunicate its enemies, which in this case pretty much meant that they were dead, politically, financially,
I want to get a
socially,
3D printer
and usually within a very short time
for like
physically.
various reasons.
This new religious fever did not only limit itself to nobility and Adeptus Ministorum personnel that had overstepped, however. Previously, many small
Nagataka, I didn't know he was
subsections of the
autistic
Imperial
about
cult,
guns. It's
minor
actually like a
organizations
green
that might
flag.
teach
You're
a slightly
adorable.
different
I love
version of
you.
the Imperial's religion, or in many cases, minor cults that stuck more closely to the original teachings of the Lectitio Divinatis were now being excommunicated and cleansed as heretics.
I do need
These
to get a
organizations
PO
were
box.
previously not officially acknowledged.
Hang on,
but
I
they
gotta
were
write that down.
tolerated. No major efforts were expended to
Get
wipe
PO
them out
box.
because they're obviously not chaos.
Time out. Time out. So you guys, through supporting me, I could probably get a PO box now because they're like $100 a year. Hold on, writing it down. So I mean, I could probably go ahead and actually get one. Because there's like actually quite a few of you that like just so kindly want to send me things, and I feel bad about it. Like I don't deserve anything from you guys, but you know, it's so sweet. It is like tremendously sweet. Like it you know, I got some stuff from Rooster and Balls before, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like that kind of like made me tear up a bit. But I'm also a sensitive bitch, all right? Because it's like just very thoughtful gifts, you know. Like, oh my god, you guys are sweeties. PO boxes are that cheap. The last I checked, like a year ago, they were like about $130 for me. I only rounded it off to 100. I think it's about 130 a year, which isn't terrible, you know, but yeah. I mean, before, like, when people really wanted to send stuff to me, I'd be like, "Are you gonna have to send it all the way to Florida so Chris, aka Dirty Casualty, can forward it all the way to me?" And that's actually like not a like feasible thing to do per year. Yeah, per year. Oh man, there's no way I could afford to do it monthly. I'll tell you that. Like, we'd have to do that yearly. Like, please, post office, work with me. Oh, balls. You're sweet. And get praise. Guys. I love you guys. You make me feel good. You really do. Not butt plugs, I hope. No. No. Plenty of people on Rumble that show their printers off. Brother, you're right about that. I would love, oh yeah, I'd love a 3D printer, like, not only to, like, print, because I would print, like, Warhammer stuff and, like, get, like, the right paints and paint them, but also, like, I want to make my own planters for my indoor plants and stuff like that. Like, I'm very interested in that sort of thing. Oh, Amizaku? Yeah. I almost, when Zaku was selling the Rumble logo prints, like, I almost, like, hit him up to buy one of those. I think they were, like, $25. I was like, I looked at my bank account after, like, bills and rent, and I'm like, dude, I barely got enough to pay attention right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Zaku, shout out to him on Rumble. He's a real down-to-earth cool dude. And he 3D prints, and it's fun. It's cool. I like that. I think post offices will offer a PO box for a year. I think so. Hey, Piggy. Listen, you guys are all being cute boys about 3D printing, and I just need you to know that it's making me feel good. All right, I like this. Continue being good boys, please. I'll let this play while we chat.
Parts of the larger imperial faith that had slightly different opinions than the main church. It simply wasn't worth the effort, the hassle.
I gotta tell you guys something. I absolutely fucking love that the Sisters of Battle are are these type of cunt bitches. Do you know what I mean? Like the good cunts. Like they're gonna handle fucking business for the ecclesiarchy, right? I love that.
Political
Love
prestige that it would cost to wipe them out. Now, however, with the church seeing traitors, enemies, and heretics in every last single nook, cranny, and shadow, well, let's just say that it was a damn good year for Prometheum.
And if we go past 10
prosecution
p.m.
of
Eastern,
now
that's
not only
okay.
nobles
That's
and
okay.
official
I want to
personnel,
finish
but
this
also the
video
very
and
people
also
of the
hang out
Imperium,
with you
was the
guys.
straw that finally
It's
broke the
okay.
camel's
We don't
back.
have to be so tight on
The Adeptus
time.
Ministerum's actions were threatening outright civil war to break out in one of the Imperium's most important and wealthy
Have a good night,
sectors.
Coast. Thank
This
you for the
could not be
raid,
allowed.
man.
This was not a peaceful period in the
You have a
Imperium's
good
history.
night.
It was under constant threat from chaos raiding parties that had begun sallying forth from the Eye of Terror, Orc raiders, and many other Xenos nations that were encroaching upon Imperial territory. The Imperium could simply not afford one of its largest institutions, and some would even go so far as to say the very soul of the Imperium, to start tearing itself apart in a bloody internal civil war.
Resin
And by the way,
versus
allow me to
filament.
quickly qualify the use of the
I
term
don't
civil
know
war in this
enough.
particular context.
Hey, let me make this point. Like, I don't know enough about 3D printers. Like, I don't quite know what I would need to get started. But I mean, you guys can lay the information down on me if you want to. I will absorb it, but I can't fucking afford one. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had $1,000 for a printer, I would a 3D printer. I would actually go ahead and buy like VR stuff so you guys could like see me moving around and we can have more fun. Because like I always had this idea that like I would just do like exercises and stuff for content just to be silly and fun with everybody. Because I think physical humor is something of the top tier humor. And I mean, like, why not like see me do fun stuff like that in VR, right? Alright, I just have a lot of ideas. I want to keep this playing.
Open warfare had been raging on many planets under the Ecclesiarchy's control for quite a while at this point. It, in and of itself, would of course be considered a civil war on a planet-by-planet basis.
Wait, hold on, time out. Hako Mike. When people bring sisters to the tournaments at my store, the Paragon warsuits wreck face. Okay, so what are Paragon warsuits? What are we talking about? Please enlighten me. Also, Mike, are you like that cool of a nerd, brother? That you have like a what are they called? What are they called? Gaming stores? Hobby stores? What are those called? What are like the cute nerdy boy stores called? I have one near me that hosts a D&D night every week. I don't go because I'm extremely shy and I'm also like a slow learner and stupid, and I don't want people to have to get annoyed because they're explaining the dice rolls and when I roll and like what attributes are to me like 20 times until I finally grasp it. But I've considered joining hobby shops. Okay, I just, they're cute boy stores. Mike is straight up legit confirmed. Brother, he is, man. And Hako Mike is like gracing us with his presence tonight. Lay it down for us, man. We want to hear it, Hako Mike. Tell us everything you know. But most of all, like, please tell me what a Paragon warsuit is. I mean, I could Google it, but you guys, like, tell me. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl, guys. I'm just a girl. What's a Paragon warsuit? It sounds like something I fucking want. Alright, I'll let this play.
But the use of the term
I'm
civil war in
sorry.
this particular context is a full-on, large-scale war
Old
within
guy.
the Imperium.
My kids are
as
probably
any
older
further
than you. Are you for real? Dude. Mike, that's cute. That's cute. I bet you were like a super fun dad too. Dude, could you guys imagine that like your dad is like into like tabletop gaming and like runs a hobby shop and shit like that? Mike, you're probably like the coolest fucking dad ever. Real talk. It smells terrible. What? The hobby shop I mentioned sells candle melts. That's kind of gay. I'm just kidding.
Increase in the conflicts within the
I'm trying to stop
Ecclesiarchy's realm of
interrupting this. I'm
influence
sorry.
would almost certainly force the Administratum to act.
I am listening to
And
it
with the
though, if you
Administratum's
guys are
actions
wondering.
would come the Imperial Guard, at which point it was only a question of time until Adeptus Astartes and Mechanicus
Go enjoy the game. I've just had some, from where like I am a slow learner, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if it's like ADHD or because I have actually taken brain damage a bit too much. Real talk, okay? But it takes me like I have to learn through patterns, and which is kind of different than how I guess other people do it. So that means a lot of times I have to be told it like 20 fucking times until like I get this like pattern and memory down. Like I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I'm like really telling you guys about like my mental retardation right now.
Was also involved, making it
but I've had people get like really annoyed with me about it.
So basically, when I say civil war here, I am speaking of a full, massive war between the various factions of the Imperium, rather than warfare on individual planets. And now, back to the point. You might think
Hang on. The fact... Is there anything that is mega cool that you can play online that has the Sisters of Battle? I feel like there's not. And why hasn't there been?
Didn't really get any worse at this
Real
point.
fucking questions.
They're already dealing with several uprisings, from minor uprising to considerable uprising, some even led by planetary governors. Those planets who were still loyal were murmuring their discontent very, very loudly, to say the absolute least. And costs were spiraling. The upkeep of the Templar forces, the continued construction of massive, beautiful cathedrals, etc. You might even go so far as to say that it would appear as if the Adeptus Ministorum had lost a
small
bit of
PO box.
perspective.
Balls,
They
I'll look
continued to spend
into
money
it
at a rate that they simply couldn't get back, and in fact, the rate at which
I
they were
have to
already
go
spending
out
money was pretty much making their little
soon-ish, like
mini
in a few
empire within an
days, and
empire
I'm
rip
gonna
itself
check it
apart at
out.
the seams.
PO box.
But
I'm talking about
despite all
PO
this,
box
it is
stuff.
important to remember that when humans are involved in anything, it can always get worse. You see, it's all a matter of perspective. From an outside view, it was blindingly obvious that the Adeptus Ministorum was tearing itself apart.
You gotta force yourself in.
It couldn't possibly continue
Piggy,
going
that's
the
good
way
advice,
it was
you're
currently
right.
going.
I just
However,
gotta, like,
from
do
the top
it.
of the ecclesiarchy, they were still the Emperor's chosen dignitaries, and they could do no wrong.
Even
it was
though
just
I'm still
everyone
too
else
shy
that
to
simply
do that
didn't
much.
get it. And so, circa 300 years after leaving Terra, the High Ecclesiarch, recently elected, Gregor XI, decided that the ecclesiarchy would now move back to Terra. And as you can probably imagine, moving the entirety of the Adeptus Ministorum again is not cheap. And then, on top of that, they had to refurbish all of their old holdings on Terra and buy quite a lot of new ones. And since pretty much all of the ecclesiarchy's funds were tied up in the Templar forces and constructions of various massive penis-enhancing structures, there simply wasn't any cash on hand for this massive of an expense, and so the only solution was, you guessed it, to raise taxes. If the many, many factions that were already fighting against the oppressive powers of the ecclesiarchy needed any more help in pushing their narrative, this finally did it. At this time, the ecclesiarchy's efforts to quash the various rebellions had failed. In fact, their very efforts to quash the rebellions was exactly what caused the major uprisings. The faithful of the Imperium were starting to lose, well, faith in their priestly overlords. And
I don't know, guys. They'd probably think I was dorky looking. I mean, everyone tells me, because like I would do the cyber goth thing, and then like I was like, you know what, I really want to change it up and be more down to earth, because I mean cyber goth like died hard. You know, I still have a soft spot for like German industrial music, like big soft spot, but I wanted to just do, like, I used to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna wear black with purple, black with pink, or black with red. Never all together. At least I try not to. And then, like, I really wanted to start wearing more dresses and stuff, but I still wanted to look a little bit, like, weird, but in a more, like, subtle way, I guess you can say. So, like, I started wearing more dresses that, had like little coffin prints on them, or it was I am a sucker for like black with a beautiful floral print to it. And so people started telling me that I got grandma core, I'm grandma fashion, I look like I came out of somebody's dusty old attic, and I'm like, you know what, hang on, I kind of look like I kind of enjoy looking like I'm a haunted weird freak. I mean, I don't wear makeup. I don't have facial piercings. I'm gonna be for real with you guys. My earlobes are pierced, and then I'll have my glasses, and that's about it. And I just have like the long straight hair. Like I personally think I look like I just strolled out of the 70s, and I don't know, but to other people, I just kind of look like that I'm like trying to look like some grandma. And I don't know. I mean, because I always felt like I always had this like metalhead meets boho vibe. I don't know. Grandma core, yo, it's comfy. Oh, Zanger, did you KMFDM style? Now, back when I was like super into the cyber goth thing, like I definitely did some KMFDM style, yeah. Which, you know, speaking of that, I don't care if Al Jorgensen, the singer of KMFDM, I don't care if he's like an ultra liberal or not. Like, I still like KMFDM. I don't care. Cabin core goth. Yeah, I really just wanted that. Um, like I've always enjoyed this like idea that death loves life and life loves death. I know that's like kind of weird, but this is like the way my brain cycles, okay? And I'm just kind of like, I want that. I want to somehow encapsulate that as cheaply as I can without it looking like trash in my wardrobe. And so like I wear a lot of dresses and I wear like a lot of black tights with them. I need to get more blousey shirts because I usually just wear like a Burzum shirt or a Typo Negative shirt. Like I'm trying to get like away from t-shirts because I have some very pretty pants. And I think they would look much better with like a more blousey shirt, right? So, all the basic shit that I wear is floral with a black background and people just hate on me for it. And like I will wear like long medallion necklaces. I have one necklace that I'm very lucky that I found that it's from Avon. It's a vintage Avon. Not that I like Avon, but it's vintage Avon from the 50s. Yeah, the 50s. And it's a glass pendant that has an etching of Diana, the Roman goddess Diana, in it. And I love to wear that with my floral dresses, or even like the ones I have that have like roses with like little subtle coffin prints on them, because I love coffins. And people are just like, grandma, like, but like then some people who really assess my style, they're just like, well, you look like you came from a haunted house. I'm like, well, that's everything to me. That's all I want. even though like my little apartment is filled with like black lilac, dark purple, baby pink with dark pink or like hot pink. Yeah. That's it, man. That's my simple fucking life. Already in love with you? I try. It's not that like I try like all right, let me put it this way. It's not that I try to stand out or be unique, but I definitely try to do what like sparks joy in my heart. You guys know what I mean? I really like do that. But sometimes like I might do it a little too hard. Like maybe I am doing too much grandma core. Maybe I should bring it back to like the metal head / boho. Because I still want to like look presentable and have a nice presentation whenever I go out in public, right? And I don't like to be too over the top, like for like goth culture. Like I love the glitz and glam of it, but some of it can actually get like a little too gaudy for me. Where you're gonna see like more big poofy sleeves and lots of lace is probably where I would tone things down to make it more down to earth, because I favor sleek over big boofy Victorian stuff that they do. Like I do like that. Like I like being this like twiggy weird person when I float around like Walmart or something. Like I think there's a time and a place to wear like big chunky goth boots and all that. Like I have like some like nice like open-toed simple chunky half heel shoes to go with my dresses and stuff like that. Like I like a way. Like I do like to look very melancholia. Yeah. I don't know. It's just my way. I feel like it's some kind of weird grungy goth. Maybe people are right. Maybe I do look like I rolled out of some ancient grandmother's attic, and it's like, oh, I was the ghost up there, I guess. Ah! I know it's supposed to be Warhammer, and I'm just talking about my style. my IRL style. Do not wear pretty blouse in hobby shop. Wait, why not? Why? I would love like a nice like blouse, black blouse that's made of chiffon. You know, which is like a very thin, kind of see-through material. I like chiffon, which is very old lady of me because that was big in like the 40s and 50s. I just chiffon is beautiful. Like I love that. I love that. And it's also more breathable than silk. My ex loved chunky goth boots. Best relationship I've ever had. Now, if I could afford it, I'd get some demonia goth boots if I could. But I don't even have Doc Martens. I just have like, I just found these like pair of $20 boots at Walmart that have just been fucking serving me for years. Like somehow they stood the test of time here, and I've used them to like walk in the snow when I go for walks around graveyards and shit like that. These are the boots I'm wearing, and they just survive. And it's like, did Walmart accidentally sell a good product? Like how on earth? Oh my god, guys, let me continue this. I love talking about like stuff like that. I'm not like a high fashion person, by the way. I just care about the way the world takes me in on the surface, if that makes any sense. Presentation, I guess that's what it is. I like to be very present. I like to have a good presentation. I like to try to be well poised when I'm talking to people. I do try to have like good mannerisms in the way that I'm doing. Yeah, I walk graveyards, especially when it's warmer outside. I have a few of them around me that are in walking distance, and yeah, I'll go like hang out in them. I mean, I don't really mess with graves or anything more than just like walking around. Like I love to see the military part. I love to see the creepy weird part where all these like little kids were buried in like 100 back in 1887 and what have you. Yeah, how they perceive me. Yeah, so like I bounce between not wanting to be perceived, because people who try to perceive me tend to look for things to want to use against me, and then there is this other part of me that's like, well, if you're going to perceive me, I at least want you to have a good time trying to perceive me. And then there's the people that's in between where they're just like, wow, Zay, you're like a really contradictive, strange person. It's like, oh, thank you. I know. Yeah, I love graveyards. I love them so much. If I had my way, I would gladly find a house, even though I can't afford one, that was in or near a graveyard. I really would. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Even in World of Warcraft, because now WoW has player housing. I've yet to show you guys because I actually don't have an active subscription currently. But my house is in the smack dab middle of a graveyard in World of Warcraft. Like that's I love it so much. I think that death is beautiful. Not that like I'm suicidal or anything like that. Like, you know. But I think it's quite beautiful. If it tells you anything, when I was in high school, one of the things that I couldn't decide if I wanted to be or not was a mortician. I don't know. There's just like weird things about me. It is what it is. All right. I've seen people at least younger than me wearing Nirvana, AC/DC, and I hear more Gen Z are wanting more analog stuff like VHS or CDs. Oh yeah. It is really cool that stuff's coming back. And I understand and I relate with this, like a big part with Gen Z is that they want stuff that's more tangible. And they need more tangibility. And I totally agree with that. Like, I'm slowly building like building up retro shit as I can, where I can, like Facebook Marketplace, estate sales, just like cool shit that was like from my childhood. Like, I don't know, it'd be really cool to get like an old PlayStation. I don't think Gen Z is listening to Pink Floyd. One thing that actually surprises me is that Gen Z is super into new metal. Like they really like new metal. And whenever I was like a preteen, I really fucking liked Static X. I don't like new Static X. I know that's a new singer and all that. But nothing's gonna beat the original Wayne Static. So yeah, I'm Gen Z and I got a portable tape player for Christmas. Never used one before. But I got Dark Side of the Moon. Oh, Nagataka, that's cool as shit. Plug the throne in the tea. I did actually update my throne. There's no obligation to ever get me anything. I feel absolutely rude ever saying like, hey, I got a throne. I feel rude doing that, but I do have a throne. And I have a pair of slides on there currently that I love. Now, I try not to go too fucking crazy when it comes to Skull and Crossbones, and if you scroll down under my stream right now, one of those links is going to lead you to my throne. Sometimes I think Skull and Crossbones are gaudy, but I personally thought those were quite pretty. All right, I'm just saying. Yeah, and then Balls is also saying I need to shill the T-Man. You know what? I will shill the T-Man. You could go to dragontreasure.com, pick you out some lovely tea or some coffee or maybe even some soap. I still don't know if he has the powdered drink supplements out yet, but he might. And at checkout, if you use promo code Zatris, you'll get 10% off, brother. That's right. Not only will you support him, but you support me. And if you do get tea from him, please let me know what you got and if you liked it or not. Because I actually really like base T-Man. Dragon's Treasure. I really like his tea. He's also like awesome in the sense of that, like, if a VTuber drops the N-word, he's not gonna like cut her off. He's gonna be like, alright, listen, that bitch, she's alright. Like, T-Man's awesome. Static X died with Wayne, yeah. Guys, I am going to AFK for like 2 seconds to go get a new bottle of water because I'm about to finish this one. And from where I don't drink soda anymore, I'm like constantly fucking thirsty. So I just drink this shit out of water. So I'm gonna go get some water. And then we're gonna continue this video when I get back, okay? You hear me? Listen, you guys, don't you act up. Don't you act up. I'll be right back. Alright. My eyes may not be on you, but you better be good. You got it? Okay. I'll be right back. Hi. You better have been good. I wasn't gone long. Some drink a lot of water, not sure. Oh, same that you do? Yeah. So I used to drink like Dr. Pepper. That was like my big vice, is that I would drink Dr. Pepper and then I would just not drink water. I would eat good. I'd be fairly active or try to be. But I just wouldn't drink water. And so after the health scare that I went through, I just stopped drinking soda. And I just find myself, I drink like 5 bottles of water a day. That's not even, you're supposed to drink even more than that. I think you need like 8 glasses of water a day, right? And I'm drinking just 5 bottles. Oh. You guys, I really need to play this video. We came for Warhammer. I came for Warhammer. I'm not a very good React VTuber. I'm not very good at reacting. I engaged way too much, maybe. Yeah, my health scare. I had an abdominal infection that I'm pretty sure, and I'm not saying this to scare anyone, but I'm pretty sure I was like at the start of it almost hospitalized because it was very, very bad. And then it lasted for 2 months. I had a lot of issue that suddenly started occurring with my pelvic floor muscles because of like whatever happened to my abdomen and into my colon. And I had a lot of organs that were swollen and painfully swollen. And then I couldn't eat or drink really at all without there being a lot of pain. And I'm talking like 4 hours plus of pain. Like I had to go to the ER a lot, which is stressful. And then things would start looking up and then they would go backwards again. And then I finally got a colonoscopy, and they still couldn't figure out what it was that must have happened to cause the infection. So they just kind of wager it must have been diverticulitis that I had. But because of all that, I changed my lifestyle completely around. Like, I will have soda. I just won't have Dr. Pepper. Like, I'll have, like, red cream soda every once in a little while. I just don't do anything with caffeine currently. I lost a lot of weight, so I look great. Like, you guys... like, all, like, the depression weight I had was, like, just gone. Because, like, I changed my diet. And then I started drinking water, and I wasn't drinking soda. And then, I dropped 30 pounds. I'm like, well, hey. I look fucking great now. But yeah, I had a health scare, and it caused me to, like, change my lifestyle around. And then, it also caused me to not really stream, because I would lay down too long, or I would sit too long, or something. Like, I would just hurt, because my organs were swollen. I was having problems with just, like, abdominal to mostly pelvic floor muscle issues going on. And I just, like, want to sleep a lot. It was bull fucking shit, I tell you what. And as some of chat could tell you, like, I was freaking out really bad. I kind of feel as though I may have dealt with sepsis, but I've not had that before to know. But from the way some of this stuff was going, it I don't know. So apparently, what I was going through, if it was diverticulitis, apparently most people have that once in their life, and then they never have it again. So, and it could just strike out of nowhere. Apparently, having low vitamin D, which I have a severe vitamin D deficiency, can kind of not cause it, but if you have low vitamin D, like, your body's not able to, like, properly fight things. So That's what it was. For all of you who didn't know why I was gone for so long. I didn't want to count myself. Sorry, I'm putting strawberry lemonade in my water. I didn't want to count myself as being on a hiatus because I'd have good days. I'd be like, all right, I can stream, and then like I would eat like the tiniest little bit of food. Like I remember I ate one egg. Like I took a slice of bread and I cut it in half and I fried up one egg and I made a sandwich out of that. And I ate half of it and I had to take a 2-hour nap afterwards. And I'm like, I can't stream. I can't stream. Like that was just how bad the inflammation and the pain was for me. I mean, normally like you go into like a slight food, like food like makes you kind of tired after you eat it. But what I was dealing with, it was like mega fucking bad. And I had to deal with like doctors back and forth, like not really wanting to help me because they're like, well, you're like not nearly old enough to be worrying about a colonoscopy or anything. And I'm just like, okay, because like the fact it went on for like 2 months, it's like, well, I need something done. I don't know, you guys, it's okay. I'm like oversharing about it. Like I'm fine now. Like I'm to a point where I can lift weights and be on the treadmill finally again. So I'm okay. I'm underweight because keeping food down. Yeah. Oh man, dude. I don't know. Like for me being like kind of overweight was just because, you know, depression really. And then I don't know. I changed things around and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck was my problem? I hate that it took like a crazy fucking health scare where I genuinely thought I was going to die at least 2 major times during the whole escapade. And then, you know, and I'm just like, why did I eat like shit before? It's not that I ate like shit. Like, I definitely didn't eat enough fiber, but I just consumed too much Dr. Pepper. And then, like, I stopped drinking it, and then, like, the weight just fell the fuck off me in, like, 3 months. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to go back to Dr. Pepper now. I want to continue being good looking now. Me humble bragging. I think I earned it. Zay, the stream has been a lot of fun. No apologizing. Oh. Oh, yeah, keeping food. Well, for me, I couldn't eat anything because like once it would exit the bottom of my stomach and immediately go into my entire digestive tract, and we're talking like the liver is functioning, the pancreas is functioning, and the gallbladder is functioning, and that would bring me intense pain. And I would just have to lay in bed. Like there was like several weeks that I could only have broth with extremely soft grains of rice, and that would be all I could handle. So this is also the time period where I think I may have dealt with a little bit of sepsis. I'm not sure. Because we're also not sure whatever happened to me. Like, we just assume it was diverticulitis. Why does my age matter? Because when you're 45 is whenever they're like, oh, we'll give you a colonoscopy. And since I'm nowhere near 45, they were really dismissing me. They're like, well, you're not even near 40. Like, you don't even need this. And I'm like, well, I think I'm dying. The phosphoric acid. Now, I thought that too. I'm like, is drinking soda from where like I don't really drink a lot of water because I'm an overgrown child, is that like not only causing weight gain and like me to, you know, be bloated, feel like shit, but is it like causing me not to be able to like absorb nutrients well? Like I had that thought as well. My humble brag is having a 14-inch biceps, not flexing from doing physical labor, jobs and farm work. Zanger, I won't lie to you, that's pretty hot. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to humble brag. I did inadvertently do it, but when like the chub like melted on me, I'm like, wow, I look fucking good again. Ah. I mean, I feel even better now that like I can go back to lifting weights and being on the treadmill. Apparently, if you guys look up colon cancer, that is currently the highest rated cancer that's killing people in their early 30s. So, yeah. But none of my doctors were like, well, you don't need this because you're not 45. And I'm like, well, first of all, thank God I'm not 45. But second of all, the fact that for millennials that this is the highest like the top cancer death that's killing people right now is colon cancer, guys. And yeah. That's why like I keep telling you like please eat fiber, drink water, take care of yourselves. I lived through this. Uh I when they did the colonoscopy, I finally found out today that I did not have cancer. I didn't have anything to really worry about too much other than like I have to go for a colonoscopy every 5 years now. HPV. Hmm. I was reading you guys. Um that's why I'm like, dude, you gotta like take care of yourself. You have to. You have to. Cause the fucking industrial medical complex stuff, big pharma and all that is really stressful, to be honest with you, to deal with. Hey Patty. Oh my god, I really need to watch this video. I mean, even though like I've talked over this and it just kind of been about us talking to each other about ourselves, there's always Warhammer next week, okay? There's always Warhammer next week. Yeah, there was like a good bit of time there I thought I might have had cancer. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this and be like, well, let me put it this way. I do tend to fear the worst at times, but like, oh my god. Yeah, I wish RFK would hurry the fuck up with all that. Well, I mean, he's doing the best he can. It's all the other places that need to remove it. Remove the toxins. Oh, Naga Taco. You're so sweet. You guys, I gotta step away for a fucking minute because my little kitty wants out of my bedroom. And he's the one that came in here and hung out. And now he's like, I gotta go. Hang on. Alright. Yeah, he just skedaddled right out. um, but yeah, you guys like especially if you're early 30s, you know, colon cancer is like aggressively fucked up right now. I mean, whenever I had my colonoscopy, like I was in the clear for it. Like I had polyps, but all polyps are precancerous, but you know, they confirmed with me that mine were not only were they precancerous, but they were benign. And I had them removed, so I'm pre-cancer free, so to speak. Yeah. I'll be getting my thyroid biopsied every year. Oh my god, every year. Until they decide it's better to remove the rest of it from my brush with cancer. Yeah, Patty. Yep. I hope that you're doing okay. Thyroid cancer sounds terrifying. Chris, your doctor said you drink too much water? Are you a little fishy? Well, physics, I wouldn't have ever needed one if it didn't if I didn't have like a weird infection for like 2 straight months. And apparently diverticulitis can cause that. I might have cancer, I'd never know. Well, you can Google it. I don't really want to talk to you guys about poop because you can learn that on your own time. But you can look it up. Like if you have colon cancer, your stool changes. It will change. And once it starts changing, it will drastically change after that, apparently. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any of that. Also, like, colon cancer starts with polyps that will mushroom out, and whenever they get the stalks and they're mushrooming out, that's when they become cancerous. And once colon cancer begins, it's pretty aggressive after that. But a colonoscopy, they'll remove polyps in the process of doing that, and it takes like one polyp, you get a polyp, and it takes about 7 years for that to progress into like this stalky mushroom thing. And then I don't know, because polyps are closer to like skin tags until they start becoming cancers. Like, I had to learn all about this, and yeah. But you're a VTuber? I know. I should be immortal, right? Poop stream. One thing about your colonoscopy is that they're going to give you probably something called propofol, and you are going to be in a coma. Okay, you're going to be knocked out for it, and you're not going to be intubated. Which propofol is what killed Michael Jackson, by the way. But that's a whole story of him abusing it. And he had a hack doctor that was supplying him with it. But yeah, you'll be, sometimes they'll choose to give you like gas, like they'll put like the mask on you. But I had propofol. And my colonoscopy lasted 12 minutes and I was unconscious for 20 minutes. And when you wake up from propofol, oh my god, are you happy and silly. And you can't walk. I have like bits and pieces of what I remember, like the nurse that woke me up and she's like trying to help me see if I can stand up off the bed, and I like hard like loop my torso around. It's like, okay, there's no standing. I just remember bits and pieces of that. And then I had to be put in a wheelchair. I meant that VTuber equal poop streams. No. And I don't want to do it, guys. After you turn 40 or so, doctors just put their fingers up your ass as a dude. Are you for real? Oh, man. Holy shit, it's already 10 p.m. Pretty much. Alright, I'm gonna let this play. And then I guess I'm gonna go for 30 more minutes because I don't want to stop in the middle of this video. But yeah. I'm over 40, so I just avoid doctors. Kind of did that before anyway. They put women to sleep for that? Yeah, in America, like, you have to be, you're not necessarily put under, because you're not intubated. But yeah, in America, like, they do that for colonoscopies. You could probably ask to stay awake for it, but unpausing after tangenting for 80 minutes. Well, I mean, I wanted to get through the video. I'm supposed to be reacting to Warhammer stuff, and then like we're all chilling, and then important things come up, and I'm like, all right, let's talk, guys, because it's nice to just talk to you. That's why I said I'm not a good React streamer. Okay, they don't do that for dudes. When you get a colonoscopy, are you sure? Maybe we're talking about different things. Maybe I confused something. Alright. I will let this play.
Of them started preaching against the excesses of the ecclesiarchy.
Because we're talking
the
about
command and control structure
the political
of the ecclesiarchy
side
currently
of things
occupying
here.
with moving millions of clerks and ungodly amounts of machinery led.
You're on a roll and lore will always be there. I mean, I could do that. Like, we're like in the middle of the video. And I could save it for next week. And I also have like other Sisters of Battle stuff to do. Or I could do it Sunday night. They're thinking about prostate checks. Oh no, I'm talking about a colonoscopy. All the like fingers in your butt. You don't have to be comatose for that. My bad. Yeah, save it. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We'll save it. We'll save it. We only got halfway through it. I'm sorry. I should be a better React streamer. This is why, guys. I was like, I don't know if I'd be a good React streamer. I get like really tied up with what chat wants to talk about. Will the lore always be there though? It would, Patty. It would. It would be. But I mean, you guys, you know what? I'm gonna let's come back Sunday night. So not Tuesday. So Wednesday, next coming Wednesday, I can do the warp. But Sunday night we'll finish these videos. Because Sunday night I'm free. I should be. Yeah. Physics is okay. It's okay. It's silly. It's funny. I mean, it was nice like learning about this stuff with you, but I just like to fucking talk, guys. I'm so sorry. Am I a bad React streamer? Yes. I am. But I'm telling you right now, we're gonna come back Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Sunday night, and we'll finish these. That way for Tuesday, or why do I keep saying Tuesday, damn it? Wednesday, Warhammer Wednesday, we'll do the warp, because you guys also posted some videos on the warp in my Discord, and I really want to watch those. Now, Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle, like right now what I'm taking away from it is that they are just the bitch that, oh my god, hold on. Like they're just ready to fucking take care of what they need to. That is the simplest I can say it. And I love them for that. And there's also the big fucking mecha cathedrals. Oh my god, I was more blown away by that than anything. Like I want to fucking be on one. Better than just sitting here without talking. See, now that's also where I'm like, am I a good enough React streamer? I'll either like be absorbing and not talking, or like I'm just kind of like talking about everything. I don't know. What's the balance, guys? Are you a good yapping streamer? Yes. Is that what you like? Is that your thing? Is that what you're into, Kite? Are you into that? I'm gonna take a drink of this. Cheers, guys. I should really link this strawberry lemonade stuff I use. You can find it at Walmart. It's like $3. I get like one a week. Yeah, I'll show you guys actually, as I'm all the time drinking it, and I think it's worth trying out. Like I'd recommend it. I'm trying to find it. And I don't always drink this, by the way. Like, just lately, like, I've been wanting some, like, sugar flavored. There's no sugar in it, though. But yeah, we're gonna come back to the rest of this Warhammer stuff. Sunday night. Here you guys go. That's what I have. True lemon, strawberry lemonade. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's like $3 at Walmart. I think you can even get it on Amazon. I drink mostly coffee, tea, water, milk. I drink water. Throughout the day, I might have like 1 or 2 of these like true lemon, strawberry lemonade mixes. And then I'll have chai tea with a splash of heavy cream. And not chai, chamomile with a little heavy cream and then a little honey. And then sometimes I might have chai instead. Mostly just water. Mostly just water. Every once in a great while, I'll have milk with like a dash of like strawberry syrup, like this like fancy strawberry syrup that I have. I have strawberry milk. That's about all I drink. That's it. Very much into reacting to my favorite streamers. Oh. Let's see, technically Sisters of Battle are just the orders militant of the Adepta Sororitas. And why the Adepta? Why is Adepta instead of Adeptus? Oh, snark monkey. I love them. So I'm gonna keep these as they are and we'll come back to it Sunday, okay? I owe it to you guys. Maybe I'll get better at being a React streamer. But let me tell you this, tomorrow night, and this one by popular vote, we're going to do Book Talk 2. And I do have some book titles that we're going to check out. All of which have been sold at Walmart. And I'm going to try to find excerpts that I can read to you about, or that are from these books, okay? And I'm also going to react to some book talk videos as well, because there's this one video that I've been holding on to of a lady who's like critiquing book talk goonerism, and I actually really want to see what that's about. I want to see what she has to say. I want to see if we align. Do you guys know what I mean? I want to see if I align with that bitch. Which we probably will align, especially if she's like just as grossed out as I am. I mean, women can like what they like, right? But it's like, why are we selling it near children's books in Walmart? I know why they are. It's because they hollowed out the YA genre, which is young adult, and then filled it with the goon talk stuff. Which book talk is slowly, or bookish, I still don't understand what bookish means, but book talk / bookish is slowly merging into its own like romantasy, dark romantasy book. Like they're kind of like merging over into their own genre finally. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna bitch and raise hell about things because, you know, I'm a cunt. But again, for like the 50th time, I'm so sorry that like all we did was just yap. I was still paying attention to this, but like I also didn't want to keep talking over it too much. But like Sunday night, like we got like more videos. I even got a funny one here. Is it wise to smash a Sister of Battle in the Warhammer universe? Pros and cons. Wait, hang on. You can't see it. Yeah. So I have some videos that will finish up. Okay. I promise. Why can't you repost my stream? I have no idea. I'm glad you had fun. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys. I'm sorry like I'll get on my soapbox and I'll start preaching good health, you guys. Like, please take care of your health, brothers. Please. Please don't end up like me. It was like really scary. Even though like I'm mostly in good health, like it was still like, why did that happen to me? But yeah, I'm gonna find somebody right on Rumble. I will see you guys tomorrow night. What's tomorrow? Thursday? And after tomorrow, I will see you guys Sunday. We'll do a nice little cozy Sunday stream. Balls, thank you. Oh, thank you for giving me some bits over on Twitch. Oh my god, you guys, by the way, did you see that Hightail now has like integration, chat integration? And I don't know if it's Twitch only, but I may actually start streaming Hightail on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. As much as I fucking hate Twitch. Well, wouldn't that be cool to like play some Hightail and it's integrated like that? I thank you guys for being here. Oh, I'm gonna actually send you to Amalgamite. Hang on, what's she doing? Did she just not go live? What's she playing? Outlast.
Okay.
It's Amalgamite. You guys want to go see the pretty dragon lady?
Okay, did I walk too far away to hear it? Like, on one hand, I kind of feel bad for missing.
I'm gonna send you to Amalgamite. Alright, let me post it over in YouTube. YouTubies, listen. We're gonna go over to Rumble. You are welcome to join us. Amalgamite's another VTuber. She's I think she's more like a political commentator. And I love her. She's very adorable. Sweet girl. But that's who we're gonna rate. What about your kick? If Hightail's like integrated to Kick, I might do that, but I also have like a lot of stuff. Like I got like Tits. You guys remember Tits for Twitch? Amalgamite, you know. Pretty dragon lady. But oh you guys, I do feel so bad that all I did was yap and then lost track of time. Sunday. Wait, you're on Twitch now? I am not currently streaming on Twitch. I do have a Twitch. I raised a shit fit and then stopped streaming on Twitch. But I would come back for Hightail. If Hightail's gonna be integrated into like Twitch and you guys can like spawn shit and mess with me, I might come back. I love Hightail that much. And I haven't been able to like stream it for you guys. Tits, by the way, is Twitch integrated throwing system. And you could throw things at me. Arch's milking farm toy. Oh, that's right. She did do something with Arch, didn't she? Yeah, I'm glad you have fun. Okay. I'm glad. I feel a little less bad because you keep reassuring me, okay? Alright, but let's go check out Amalgamite. Please give her lots of love. Give her some likes. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for Book Talk 2. And then Sunday for more Warhammer, okay? And we'll wrap up the Sisters of Sword, the Sisters of Battle, together that night. It was a great stream. I'm just happy you guys have fun. I had a lot of fun. Alright, okay. I'm gonna go. I hate goodbyes, as you know. But let's go check out them all. See you guys tomorrow night, okay? See you tomorrow night!